Just lowered the lights.
Awesome.
Go. We is live. You know. I don't know if you've read these things about people who do podcasts and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things to never do, never say, I wasn't going to go live, but...
Yeah.
And for some reason, they say don't say that. I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah, I'm guilty of doing it, but I try not to. Like, sometimes I'll say it and I'll catch myself like, what was the point of that? Like, you want to make it seem like you're prepared, that you actually have, like, a show prepared, like, for your audience, and
right,
half-assing it like I usually do.
But sometimes half-assing it works out pretty well.
Oh, some of my best shows have been half-assed.
Oh, yeah. I guess 99% of mine are pretty much just go, whatever happens, whatever. Good evening, everyone. So I wasn't going to go live, but there was too much happening these last few days, especially what happened this morning.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of that.
So I guess we can touch on that first. I mean, that's a kind of a big deal. And I didn't think much of it until I saw the security camera footage that everybody's been showing.
Yeah, it's insane. Did you hear about the guy's backstory though? Like his prior.
Yeah, something about he was arrested under false pretenses or something like that. Like,
yeah, when he was 17 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And that he was almost awarded like $1.2 million.
Yes, he was about to be awarded over $1 million.
But since he since he pled guilty, it kind of canceled that out.
It made the city not liable, so it was like, we don't have to pay this.
Yeah.
And yeah. So screwed himself, but still he was arrested under. Apparently the arrest shouldn't have happened or something like that, and it turned out it was true that they were trying to frame him for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And was he in a gang or not? I don't know. I know there's one page was showing all his tattoos, and then they were showing other tattoos from other gang members of the area.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's true or not. So this morning at 7:30 in the morning. Okay, so we all know about I've been calling it a crisis for a long time. But migrants have been coming in, and it's pretty much a catch and release program, what it is right now. So they process them, and then they give them cash, they give them a cell phone, transportation, they send them to the airport, and then that's where they have a flight set up for them. So they either leave the same day or the next day. Usually it's like the next day. And I know because a lot of my friends work at the airport, and this is firsthand information. So some of them don't have flights for like a couple days or even for the next day, but they can't stay at the airport 24 hours a day. So at night, they shut the doors, they lock everybody out, and they had an arrangement with the 07May Center, which is a homeless shelter, that they say, we'll keep them overnight, and then they can make their way back to the airport in the morning if they have a flight. The problem is now they're at overcapacity. I think they're holding 380 people in there, where they only really supposed to hold like 320 or something like that. So that's where this happened, right outside the 07May Center, and there was a lot of people. It seemed like they were waiting for the bus. Perhaps some of them were. For the most part, they were just sitting down, waiting, to see what they were going to do or when to go back to the airport. And a car came around the corner speeding.
Hmm.
Now, the witnesses that were there, according to the police officer that I spoke to, I did speak to a police officer who was the first on the scene, and he said he thinks it was intentional, that he saw them, he turned the wheel, aimed right at them, he jumped the curb, and just ran that whole group over.
Yeah, I've heard a couple reports that it was intentional. Then I heard some say that he was like coming off of like a drug binge, and they have like the toxicology reports that are going to take like a few days or a few weeks to get back. But that he wasn't cooperating, that he was giving, false names. He was
Yeah.
kind of giving officers a hard time from what I heard.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I heard. And so he crashes, right? He runs everybody over, and then his car hits the curb. He was driving a Land Rover, and it flipped. It rolled over, and it rolled, and he got out.
I heard he was detained like pretty quick. I mean, after a crash like that, I doubt you can, just sprint away from something like that.
Yeah, he ran, and some of the witnesses chased him, and they caught him. And they won't say. I mean, they're not gonna. At some point, somebody roughed him up.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back to the scene, and they were holding him till the police officer got there. And then, of course, the officer cuffed him and sat him down there on the street till another unit arrived. And he was not a happy guy. He was saying a lot of things he shouldn't have said.
Mm-hmm.
All day I was thinking, I hate to believe that this was a hate crime.
Yeah.
Like a racist thing or whatever. But some of the things that he said was, well, damn, maybe it was a hate crime. But then again, if he's under the influence of something, who knows what the hell's in his mind. So what happened? The aftermath is 7 were dead on the spot.
And another 10 injured, I think.
Another 17 are injured.
Oh, 17.
Yeah.
Last I checked, it was 10, but it's been a while since I've refreshed.
Yeah, they said there was like 17. One guy was flown to Harlingen. And there was a guy with a real mangled leg. I don't know if you saw any of the other raw footage that came out of that.
Yeah, it was a tough watch, but yeah.
It was very tough, man. I was not even going to post that. Not even the car running with people over. I was not even going to post. I showed photos here and there. I think 3 photos of that entire 3 or 5 seconds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the camera was just at the right spot, and man, you saw everything, and I was not about to post that. And so 7 are dead on the spot, and then somebody, and these presumably the migrants, because they all have cell phones, they're walking around the crowd, everybody's bodies everywhere, and they're filming everything. Dude with a broken leg, dude with another broken leg, and it was very graphic.
Yeah. This was a couple of years ago, so they probably changed the system from when I was there. But I saw how they were dealing with the migrants in McAllen. Since I worked with the city, I had to go and see all the things that the city would do, different departments and stuff. And they took us to the bus station, and they were like, yes, this is where the migrants come, they're processed, and then they're brought here. They're given based on how long they're gonna wait, they're given a certain number of meal vouchers. They're given a bus ticket, and then they're given a folder that they need to just take to the next place that they go to. And it was a little heartbreaking, thinking of how I felt that day, because that there was kids that were there by themselves.
Yeah.
And it's up to another person to be oh, well, we're going to the same place, stick with me, I'll take care of you. But then that opens the door for people with ill intentions to be oh, there's this kid by themselves new to this country, I could just take them with me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it makes it very easy to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, there was no one there like really watching them. They even said that there's some that know the area or know people in the area, and they just walk out the door and just take off.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
then
that was like,
they have people like what's the name of that group? South Texas. Oh man, I can't think of it. It's the people that actually escort them and they fly with them to other cities
yeah,
and drop them off.
yeah.
Southwest
I had
Keys.
actually applied for that position because they had like a bunch of openings like around the time I was looking,
Yeah.
and they pay pretty well. You get paid to travel, and it's just a lot of like traveling. Like you wouldn't be home a lot, so it's like I got to be home. I don't like being away.
It is. I mean, you travel, you're not home, but you come back the same day. You leave
Yeah.
early in the morning on the first flight and you go to your, let's say, New York, and you go into the terminal, you meet whoever you're going to meet, hand over, get a signature, you turn around and get back on the next flight. And if you're lucky, you're home by 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And,
yeah, and really good pay, like amazing pay.
It's good pay, and you get status, with the airlines, like you get the rewards, the miles and stuff.
Oh, those carry on too?
Oh, they get miles because a lot of these people fly out and they're sitting in first class with these kids. And they use their benefits like right there. I wouldn't use it from here to Houston because it's only a crappy 1 hour flight.
Yeah. Even to Austin, it's only like an hour and 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah. I mean, still, you got to go to Houston first. Well, if you're on United, everything connects through Houston. And if you're on American, everything connects to Dallas. If you're on Southwest, then you're going to Houston Hobby, usually.
Well, I don't know. I flew my grandmother out because I missed her, so I flew her out, and it was a direct flight from Brownsville to Austin.
They haven't had a direct flight.
Yeah, they had one. It was maybe I flew her out like I took a break from doing videos like 2 months ago, and it was a direct flight. Like because if she was gonna go through United, she was gonna like fly to a different state, do a 3-hour layover, and then fly to Austin. But I don't know how. I'm gonna see if I can pull up where it was with. But yeah, it was like a straight shot.
Yeah.
And that's come. She was here like in an hour and a half after she left from Brownsville.
Okay, I got the PayPal. Somebody wanted me to send PayPal. I got it. I'll send it to them tomorrow. Hey, dude, do you got herpes? I don't know if that message is for you or for me, but I don't have herpes. Never had herpes, and I don't plan on getting herpes. So, yeah, they can go fuck off.
Yeah, it was. It was from Harlingen. Yeah, she got on the flight at 9:25 a.m. and she arrived in Austin at 10:25.
Yeah, that's Southwest Airlines because they do have direct flights. They go to Houston Hobby. They do go to Austin also.
Yeah,
and I think Dallas.
It was a Southwest flight. But I was like, that's not bad. Like, it wasn't that expensive either. So, like, maybe next time I want to go to the Valley, I'll just fly.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about this little few-day trip that I took. But what happened this morning with that accident kind of took the excitement out of that. It's horrible, man. The first officer on the scene, he was right around the corner. He was about to go have breakfast when he got the call, and he went directly. He was only a couple blocks away. He said he arrived on the street, and there was nothing but bodies everywhere down the street, mangled bodies everywhere. I mean, it was, he'd been a police officer for over 20 years, and that's the worst thing he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, for as much as I don't like the situation going on, I know that they're just looking for a better opportunity, but I don't wish this kind of thing on anybody. I don't hate anybody to wish something like that. It's terrible.
Yeah. I think I read one, might have been like misinformation, but that some of the ones that were killed were only here for like 6 hours in the country. Like they had just crossed
Yeah, they had just crossed. They just got here. They were sent to that center to try to get in.
Yeah, that they had just crossed, and then that happens. Like, I don't know, like the journey they must have taken, and then for it to
I
end that
know,
way, like as soon as
right?
they cross the
Like,
finish line, you would think that maybe something bad might happen along the journey, but
like weeks and weeks and weeks traveling from, and they're coming from way down south,
yeah.
further south of Mexico, and then to just get here and then this happens. Yeah, it's so that happens, and then the night before there was that shooting in Allen, Texas, at the
Oh, at the
mall.
mall? Yeah. I was watching people on TikTok were like that were in the mall were like posting videos, so I was watching that.
So and I'm getting to another point because photos are coming out and showing the victims. I mean, these were young girls. Imagine teenagers or preteen even.
Yeah.
Photos of them all trying to hide behind a bush, a big giant bush, and it looks like he came out and just started shooting and came to the bush and shot everybody there. And then, so these photos are coming out. Same thing. Somebody's like, "Oh, check out the video. Check out the video." So Twitter. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I guess they always have, but you can find this kind of footage all over Twitter. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a video showing the body of the shooter that the police officer finally killed him, laying there. His blood splattered, his head's got a hole in it, and because they took him out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking about, it's not good to see this stuff. I mean, for
No.
a lot of people, it's not good to be showing these pictures and showing all this carnage and violence. And
Yeah, it desensitizes you a little bit to where you start just taking it in as like, oh, okay, well, like another day in America, dead bodies kind of thing,
right?
and that kind of like warp your perspective of like what's right and wrong. So
I
I
read
don't
on
know.
several. What is this? Hello, Kim. I read on several posts that a vehicle turned in front of this guy. No, you can see it in the video. There's one car turning left. He turns into the left lane like he's supposed to, and then he came around, and he was. I thought he was just going to pass him up, but he steered to the right, jumped the curb, and mowed down everybody that was in his path. The video's out there. If you want to go look for it, go to Twitter.
Yeah, it'll pop up. Or if you're feeling really risky, go check 4chan or something like that to see like very graphic.
It's not hard to find. Go to Twitter and do a search for Brownsville, and you'll find it. It's that easy. But be careful. Like I said, there's a lot of footage that shows the injuries, and it's not something you want to maybe see at bedtime, or if you don't have a strong stomach.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I put the news on this morning. There was a shooting at the mall in Allen, Texas, just outside of Dallas. A guy came out of his car. There was somebody's rear camera that was recording all this stuff. He came out of his car, picked up the rifle, and just started shooting right at there in front of the H&M. And 33-year-old, I think, lived with his mother, had a lot of guns. Don't know what his issues were. Don't know. Have no idea.
I mean, that checks a lot of boxes for what we see in school shooters, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot of that. That little checklist. And
in fact, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like it's not really, it's sad, but like it's not really a surprise. Like that's just another example of me like desensitized to this. Like, it's one of those guys,
And you're right, because I hardly even, I was traveling when it happened, and I didn't even realize it didn't click. Like, another shooting down, another shooting, and it's not like like years ago, like shooting, like, whoa, there was a shooting. You hear this?
Yeah.
But now it's like, yeah, there was a shooting. I'll take a look at it later.
Yeah, I'll catch it, like, or, I'll let a couple build up and then I'll report all of them together.
At the site of the accident, there's already memorials put up. people going by with candles and crosses and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was someone live at the memorial a few hours ago. When I was live, I keep like my Facebook open on the side, and I saw like someone was live streaming like while they were there. Let me see if I can find it later.
Yeah, I went by earlier in the evening in the daylight still, and there were news crews. There was nothing but news crews there, all different channels, cameras on tripods, people, with microphones reporting and whatever. And just horrible, man. Like,
yeah, but on the charges, they didn't list manslaughter. I think the when I was looking at it a few hours ago, I saw the charge was reckless driving on him. Like I know they have to do the full reconstruction, the full like investigation of everything, so they could make sure they have the right thing, so he doesn't get away with anything.
Yeah, they have it on video. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I know he's going to get arraigned tomorrow, and we'll hear what all the charges are going to be.
Well, as long as they could prove intent, then that's it. That's the major one, just so it's not like accidental or.
Yeah, no, he said he punched the gas, and it seemed like he aimed at the crowd. And I hate to think that. I hate to think somebody would do that like for no reason, just out of hate. I really hate to think that I could think like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to see, like I've always said, I try to see the glass half full, not half empty. Try to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. He was drunk. He was on drugs or something like that. Oopsie. But there's reason to believe, and I can't say it now because he didn't want me to say it, but there's reason to believe that it was done intentionally.
Yeah. Well, something like that. So, it has to be intent unless he was passed out behind the wheel, but he wasn't.
Nope. He was not passed out. He crashed. He wrecked. It was recorded by a security camera that was outside a small business right nearby there. And so anyway, that happened this morning, and that's been the talk all day.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you familiar with the term incel?
Incel?
Yeah.
I've heard it.
Okay, I'm not saying he is, but like these incels, it's short for like involuntary celibate. Like these
member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually.
A lot of shooters and a lot of people who do these acts are incels. I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying like to where people are able to group it like, oh, he's an incel, he's probably going to shoot someone. And there's even been a YouTuber who live streamed hours before he went and like I think he opened fire. He didn't kill anybody, so I guess like he ended up just killing himself afterwards. But like we were saying, like, oh, like in his 30s, lives at home, kind of thing. Like
kind of a loner.
Pretty much it. Like, yeah, I guess it's the new loner term. But I don't know. Every time I hear about a shooting, that automatically pops in like, oh, he was probably an incel.
I wonder if
you gotta kind of have like a loner lifestyle to be like, oh, I'm gonna go kill these people. Like I have nothing to live for.
What are you drinking, by the way? Somebody's asking.
Oh, orange cream soda from Jones.
Jones, that's good stuff.
I love Jones. I have a couple of weird flavors in my fridge.
This thing in Allen, Texas, I'm wondering if that was. I wonder if he was suicidal. Like this is suicide by cop. Because why? And this is okay. Now that guy turns out he was Hispanic, not a white male.
Okay.
And I know that all over the internet, everybody goes saying he's a white supremacist, does it again, but kind of like sarcastically because it's not a white male.
Yeah.
Well, the FBI considers this Hispanic white.
Yeah, white is a race. Hispanic's the ethnicity.
And so I wondered maybe he was trying to kill himself, because why would you kill a bunch of little girls or young people? I don't know. I don't understand. Yeah. So I wanted to post something today, but I felt it was too soon. I wanted to post something that said like 7 dead, not a single gun was used. Are we going to ban cars now? Or whatever.
Yeah, that's one argument right there. Like, it's all about the people who use them. It's like, I don't believe there should be a ban on guns. I've said it before. Like, it's just um like gun education in a way. Like,
You know, I'm all for gun rights,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I think, I don't know, there's got to be a way to do a little more background on somebody before you just let them own weapons.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm all for everybody having as many guns as they want. No, you don't. Nobody needs to know why I want 5 guns. That's none of your business. And I believe that's one of our basic rights as American citizens. But I think there's got to be a better system because the next thing that's going to happen, these people are going to want to ban guns entirely in the whole country.
Yeah, like I guess I just see it as like not everyone needs a gun, or like not everyone should have a gun, but that shouldn't like affect those who do handle their guns correctly, do know how to
right. Why are you going to penalize?
No, not to like go open fire in a public place or something like that.
Yeah, why are you going to penalize the law-abiding citizen or family? The father's got the gun, the grandfather's got a gun. They're training their teenage son on how to use guns and teaching them how to clean their gun, how to handle their gun safety and all that. And they go target shooting on the weekends. They do it as a family, and they're very responsible.
Yeah,
so
like
you don't want to penalize them.
Yeah, because you're gonna make it harder for the ones who do go through the proper channels, who do know do things the right way, where those who shouldn't have the gun, they're gonna find other ways to get it, like the Sax's gun show. Like, you just go and buy a gun there,
Right. Yeah, I don't even know how that works. Can you just buy a gun and walk out with it at a gun show, or do you still is there still a background check?
No, because a lot of the vendors there, it's just like a garage sale kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take all my guns there. I'll do a couple of sales. Like, you don't have to really do that. You should. Maybe there should be like a little bit more of not restriction, but like looking and making sure everyone's doing a background check, like just to go and buy these guns. But from what I've heard, like, you could just go, you see a gun you like, give the guy the money he wants for it, and look, it's yours. Like, it's not his anymore. It's not inventory. It's like his personal gun kind of thing. That's the way they treat it.
But if it's from a dealer, I imagine then you got to do
it. From a dealer, I'm sure they go through more, unless the dealer wants to be a little slimy and give his inventory to a friend to go sell there, so he probably doesn't have to like deal with all that paperwork and stuff. I mean, there's ways people get around everything nowadays.
Yeah, I think that in Texas anyway, the age to buy a gun is 18.
Mm-hmm.
You can legally buy a handgun or something of the like at 18 years old.
Yeah.
Is that too young, you think? Should it be moved to 21? 23? I don't know. I mean, we're talking about people who can't rent a car until they're like 25.
Exactly. Or go buy alcohol until you're 21.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not like just going to a store, using the background, check to like get your gun at 18. Maybe you could do that when you're 21. If you're 18, maybe kind of like a driver's license, you have to like go through a course. You have to get like, your license and everything. And then like, okay, like he's gone through the right channels, like he could buy a gun at 18.
Right.
Versus someone who, I just turned 18, I'm gonna go buy a rifle. Like, come on. That shows like no thought into it. Just like, I'm just gonna go buy a gun, like just for it.
Okay, we got a couple of good questions here. The age to buy a gun, yes, is 18. Do you remember the song by Pearl Jam, Jeremy? Of course.
Yeah.
Do you know what the lyrics, the meaning of that? Yeah, it's in the lyrics. It's about a kid who was a problem kid, and it's. I think people actually lived through that. A good song, by the way. If you haven't heard it, go check out Pearl Jam, Jeremy.
Yeah.
How much does a gun cost? You
Look,
can
if you
spend
want to buy
$100 or you can spend, $5,000.
the cheaper, like handgun wise, the cheapest ones are high points, but they're the worst to have. A high point you could buy for like 150, $200. But these guns will jam. They feel very like hollow. Like they feel really bad. I wouldn't recommend it. If you want like a decent one, I'd say anything above 600, you're gonna get like a pretty decent like handgun.
Yeah.
When it comes to rifles, I'm not a rifle guy.
My first gun was a Walther P99. It was oh no, it was a 9mm actually.
Yeah.
It was 9mm. The one I want is a which is the one that I want? I think Springfield makes it. 1911. Beautiful gun. I mean, there's some very decorative ones that are nice too. I don't want it to be too foo-foo and like all shiny and chrome that you're afraid to put it down somewhere.
Nah, I want to be like Nick Cage and Face Off and have those gold guns. Give me that. How much does a gun cost? If you're looking for like a 9mm, a decent one would be like 523. A Glock would probably fall around that price, like maybe five.
Yeah, in the $600 range.
I feel like you're between $500 and $600 if you want like a decent Glock.
Yeah. Glocks are cool. Glocks you can shoot underwater. They're famous for you can shoot in the sand if it's full of sand or underwater.
Yeah, it's important to know like Glocks isn't just like one specific gun. There's different kinds of Glocks, like a Glock 10, a Glock 9, a Glock 17. So there's a lot of different things to go. I don't have it with me. I wish I did, but my grandfather gave me a Benelli shotgun, an Italian shotgun. And I don't know if you've ever seen John Wick. It's an automatic shotgun. You could put about 12 rounds into it, and it's just like da 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 da, like
nice,
dangerous shotgun.
That's a nice piece right there.
Yeah, beautiful.
If you want home security, hate to say it, I think you should get a revolver. Actually, you should have a shotgun, to be honest. But a revolver, it's not going to jam on you.
It's not gonna jam on you, but you're limited to its size, 6 rounds. Like you need to make sure you know what you're gonna do with those 6 rounds, because otherwise you're gonna have to reload each bullet one by one. Whereas you get, a Glock, if you want to put like an extended mag on it, you could put up to like 16 like bullets and just fire. You reload with 2 seconds and then you start again.
And that's true. And that it also depends on what you're gonna shoot with. If you're using like a 22. I mean, a lot of people can get shot by a 22 and not pass out and not die.
Yeah.
You want stopping power. You want something bigger than a 9, at the very minimum, a 9mm.
Yeah.
You really want a 45. And if you can't stop somebody with a couple of rounds or one round of a 45, then maybe there's some other problems. But a 45.
What happens is a lot of people will fire to scare the person off, or to try to wound them, arm or leg. No, if you're gonna use a gun and you're gonna use it properly, it's always center mass. That's what you need.
Yeah.
But then people are scared because of the whole I don't want to go to jail for killing somebody. Hey, if it's your property, castle law, it comes in and you're safe.
And that's good, and that can happen. There will be legal trouble if you kill someone, and you're going to be in the legal system. Not necessarily you're going to be arrested or go to prison, but you're going to go through a process, and it's going to happen. So, if you're going to shoot somebody, make sure you've heard this before. If they've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Don't touch them. Wait till they're fully inside, and then you want to shoot them. Well, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's a good shot, not like someone at the end of your driveway saying, "Oh, I'm going to go into your house." No, you can't just shoot them, and that won't be a good shot. You make sure that it's a life and death situation, and that was the only solution you could think of at the moment to kill the person.
I wonder how interested people would be in a show about guns and the different types, or
Go do a live stream at a gun range.
right? What if
Yeah.
they would allow that?
Yeah, that would be cool. Me and my wife, well, back when we were dating, she had a gun range that was like down the street from her. So we had like a couple of date nights where we would just go and shoot for fun.
So I take it that they don't get checks. Yes, they do. Your first time handgun purchase, actually any handgun purchase, but your first time, you got to fill out the paperwork. There is a waiting period. I think it's 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that because if you're in a bad mood or you get into a fight and you want to shoot somebody, you shouldn't be able to just go out and buy a gun legally and then go out and shoot somebody.
Yeah.
So it's called a cooling off period. And you fill out the form and the paperwork, they do the background checks, and then the dealer calls you and says, hey, you're good to go. And then you can purchase whatever gun you want. Yeah, we can do a whole other show on what's the best type or what's good for home defense or what's good for target practice. It's like,
Yeah. What's good for hunting? I do hunting, or I used to do hunting.
I thought it was 21 here in Texas. I think all it needs to be at least 21. Yeah, it's 18. I think maybe it is. It's, it depends on where you are, who's committing all the crimes, how old are they? You go to Chicago, it's a lot of young people, mostly young people that are doing all these shootings.
Yeah.
It's not all the same. So you can't say, oh, he's 18, he bought a gun, he killed 20 people. That's,
Okay, I'm seeing here, federal law, a licensed dealer cannot sell any firearm or ammunition to someone they know to be under the age of 18. So if you're 18, you're good to go. But if you want to buy a rifle, I think it's 21. I was just reading right now. So I guess you could buy a handgun, if I understand that right.
Let me see.
I just opened it right now. I should have fully read the whole thing.
Okay, so a Glock 30. Somebody's asking how much is a Glock. So Glock 30. Blah, blah, blah. Is new. MSRP is like $400.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have it, you can buy them used for $300. Private party, you can sell them for as much as $600.
Yeah, if you're buying your first gun, I suggest buying new, just so there's not any issues with it. Once you're experienced on cleaning your gun out and stuff like that, yeah, buy used, and you can probably figure out how to fix it if there's any issues.
1911 Springfield Armory. If you want to see a quick lesson on guns, watch the movie. I know we're talking about movies now. We're gonna.
Oh, there goes the rest of the night.
No, let's not do that. Jackie Brown.
Oh, I love Jackie Brown.
Samuel Jackson is an arms dealer, unofficially an arms dealer. And he's watching these videos and he's explaining to Robert De Niro this kind of gun, that kind of gun. And this is the most popular gun in American crime. And because the police on TV, they got a 45. So now all these guys want a 45. So that becomes a popular gun.
Yeah, that's a really underrated movie for Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to Pulp Fiction had come out after that, I think
great movie if you haven't seen it. And it's true. I get it, Tony. If kids are allowed to serve and go to war and get trained at 18 years old, why can't they go out and buy a gun? Well, they can right now. It's drinking and smoking that they can't do.
Yeah.
Explain that logic. I'm not. I don't know.
Since we're talking a little bit about guns, is there a specific gun that you would want, like a dream gun, like something that might be out of price range because it's so incredibly expensive, or just one that you've always wanted?
Yeah, the one that I always wanted I mean, when I had my Walther P99, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a military green color, and it was in the tradition of Glock, so it was mostly plastic. But I really like the old school, just a classic 1911 and a 45.
Nice.
It's a beautiful gun. You know, it's the military one of it was the only government service weapon that they would issue you, but now of course they do Glocks as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I saw a gun that had like Texas flag and Texas things decorated on it, and that was very nice too.
You want like an old revolver with like the Mexican flag on the handle
Yeah,
that you see. I've always liked like the lever action rifles, like those old Western,
Oh, the
guns.
bottom.
Yeah, like I want.
Yeah.
There's a what's the brand name? A Winchester level rifle that I want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in South Dakota at one point, is it South Dakota, North Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
There were a few states. Remember a long time ago? I don't know if you remember. I don't know how old you are. How old are you anyway? I never asked you this. I can't remember.
31.
Okay, maybe you wouldn't remember. Maybe your parents do. When you used to go to a bank and open up a bank account,
Mm-hmm.
they would give you gifts like a toaster, or
Yeah.
a blender, automatic shaver for guys, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in some states, they would actually give you a long gun, a rifle, like one of those lever,
Mm-hmm.
and you could actually get one of those just for opening up a bank account.
Oh man,
That was
that's
a
so
premium.
dangerous.
And
Not in
that's really
today's
bizarre.
America, but
You're right.
people.
You,
Yeah.
you think it's like, And who tested that theory? The movie, what's that documentary filmmaker, the white dude, not being racist, he's just a white dude. Michael Moore,
Yeah.
Bowling for Columbine.
Oh, okay.
He tested that. He went to a bank and, opened up an account, and they went back. They brought out all the box. He goes, there you go. Like no background check, no nothing. They just
That's probably the
handed it
most American thing I've heard. Like, open a bank account, get a gun.
Get a gun, right?
Oh,
Wait till you hear
sounds
this
like
one.
a parody skit, like, making fun of Americans, but yeah, open a bank account, get a gun.
So, guns and airlines and the airports are usually two things that don't go together.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to travel, you can travel with your gun. It's got to be in your check bag, not a carry-on. And you have to declare it. Say, hey, I have a handgun. It's in there. It's in a case. Obviously, it has to be unloaded. It's got to have a lock in the case, and you put it in your suitcase. In South Dakota, the beginning of hunting season, they have an expo. Where? At the airport. You can buy guns, you can buy ammunition, you can buy armor or targets, everything gun related. You can buy it right there at the airport, and then fly out with it.
Wow.
It was so bizarre when I first experienced that.
That sounds very dangerous, though. Like if you were to plan it and premeditate something, fly over there, buy a gun, fly back home, and you're good to go.
See, right.
I'm pretty sure stuff like that, like some sketchy stuff like that happened.
But you got to think about your demographic. Look at where you are. You're way up north, hunting country.
Yeah.
Hunting is big. And, you're talking about responsible gun ownership. I don't think they would sell you a gun if you had an out-of-state address.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would like.
Yes, you can go to Twitter and type Brownsville, and you'll see what happened. There was there were 20 people maybe sitting on a curb waiting. It looked like they were waiting for the bus, but they weren't. They were just waiting. I mean that they were just waiting because they had nowhere to go. They couldn't go to the homeless shelter. They don't have the money to go to a hotel necessarily. So they were just hanging out on the sidewalk, and a car came speeding, jumped the curb, seemed like uh, he was aiming at them, and ran him over. Killed 7 on the spot. There's another, I heard 15 or 17 that are injured.
Yeah, and they were taken to hospitals like all over the valley. Like it's not like they all got
Yeah.
transported to one. I mean, they can't really. I don't think any hospital has a trauma center big enough for like all that, but they were all spread out.
And here in Brownsville, I don't even think we have enough ambulances. I think there's only like 7 ambulances for the entire city.
Yeah, in McAllen, like on a Saturday night, yeah, they would stop taking, people in the emergency room and they would just redirect all the ambulances to like a different hospital.
You can't drink till 21, but you can buy a gun at 18. Yeah.
Imagine if both were at 18. That would be
Right?
an insane world to live in.
Yeah, that'd probably be a lot worse. Are you allowed to show your firearms on stream? No. You can.
You can, because I know there's a streamer that it shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have done it, but if he was able to show his gun, but it's because another streamer was like talking crap. They were going back and forth. So like one guy busted out a gun. He's like, "Let me see you on my block and see what happens." So the other guy was like, "Oh, I'm so scared," because the guy had a pistol and he busts out like a rifle and he like just like loads it up in front of the stream. The videos are still there. Like they weren't taken down, so I think you could still show them even with threats.
So you can show your firearm or brandish it, whatever you want to call it, but that could trigger somebody and they'll report you to Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and they'll take you offline.
I think we've seen that in some of the people that we cover.
And then you got idiots, and this happened just I think it was recently. There's a girl who's playing with a gun. She's got a handgun, and she goes like this, pulls a trigger, and it actually fires. It didn't hit her, but it went off right by her head and freaked her out.
Oh, hell yeah.
And there was another one a couple years ago where 2 girls were dancing. They're doing their whatever TikTok or Facebook dancing on the camera, and they're holding a gun. The girl in the back pulls a trigger, kills her sister. Or sister or cousin, right in front, right on camera. She went down. She panicked. She shot herself in the head. They were both gone. Stuff like that happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens.
That's not responsible gun ownership by the parents, by the adults in the house.
I know. And then like a lot of people will say like, well, I can't have my gun locked up because I might need it in a moment's notice and stuff. Like there's still like holsters to where you could only get the gun a certain way, like that would prevent kids from sticking their fingers on the trigger or anything like that.
Just get a gun safe.
Yeah.
Or at the worst, a gun lock.
Yeah, they even have those like cool digital ones where you just put your fingerprint and then boom, gun open. Like it opens and you get your gun.
My husband carries. Okay, you probably don't want to announce that your husband carries. I don't know. I'm still, even though everybody can carry, I don't think it's a good idea to announce that you carry. Just
yeah,
I don't think that's a good idea. Do you get training before purchase? Nope. You can. You got to pay for it. Some places will throw it in there, I think, but no training comes with a gun. Hey, Charlene. Anyway, so we're jumping from that to
what?
Yeah, Kay, I did. I got that. I'll get that to him tomorrow. I'll figure out a way how to do it. So anyway, so that happened. And, I was in Chicago for a few days, taking some time off. Had my pizza. Finally had my pizza. I got to post some pictures. I took a bunch of pictures, and I just haven't posted them yet.
I know. I think we've been talking about you getting your Chicago pizza for like 3 years already.
Well, at least a couple of years. When I was with my airline, I had it.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's one of the drawbacks of not working for the airline. When you work for the airline, you get free flights. You can go anywhere whenever you want to.
Yeah.
And it was always nice, I was in Chicago 3 or 4 times a year, catch a ball game, my pizza, and come home the next day. Beautiful life. It's a beautiful life.
Yeah, I have a friend who works at the airport. I think somewhere in Michigan,
Hmm.
and she's like posted photos of like just going on day trips or weekend trips.
Yeah, and you go alone. I mean, sometimes you have coworkers they go with you, but schedules don't always
Yeah.
jive.
No, it
And
worked out for her because her boyfriend was also an employee there at the airport. So couple trips.
yeah, that's cool.
Man, I want to work in an airport.
Airline.
Airline. Work for an airline.
It's not an easy schedule, but
Oh no.
and it's not for everybody. A lot of people get into it. They're like, yeah, I can't, because it's not like 8 to 4 and that's it.
Oh no. But I'm
You
used to
might have a
schedules like that.
4-hour shift, and then you have a delay. Your last flight of the day that you're working is delayed, and for the most part, you got to stay until your flight is gone because that's considered your flight. So if you got to be somewhere and pick up the kids or an appointment or something, you might. It's not an easy life.
Yeah, I think that's why it's mainly like a lot of single people that have that kind of stuff. Or they break off stuff like their schedule in a way to where they're able to have like a family life and stuff too, which I know is possible. It's just hard.
Kim says they deleted a lot of the videos from Twitter.
Yeah, they have. That's when you started seeing Twitter. I was like, they keep it on Twitter. Like usually they take stuff out. Well, I don't know, since Elon took over, I don't know what their terms of services, but Twitter is always big on getting rid of that stuff.
Log in.
That's
it wouldn't surprise.
I automatically went to 4chan. Like that's where if I want to see some messed up stuff you can't see on the internet.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Just the initial security camera video was pretty graphic. But then when they started showing the recordings of, a guy walking around showing all the bodies and stuff, that was like, that's not going to be good. I'm not going to show that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find anything.
Oh, okay. I found a video when they chased the guy down and they brought him back to the scene and they're beating the crap out of him.
That's the kind of video that should be shared. Him getting like some kind of street justice.
And then finally, police to the rescue. They cuffed him. He's passed out there. They beat the crap. You were kicking him in the face. I mean, you know what? The guys who went chasing him to grab him, let him into the country. I give him a pass.
Right. You earned it. You did a...
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. You did some service.
Oh, yeah. Video deleted. And then there's a video of the broken leg. That's horrible. They show the guy who did it. And he's resting comfortably in a hospital bed.
Yeah. I saw that photo.
Bastard. But anyway.
But when he wakes up like from all this, like it's gonna hit him like when he sobers up, since they think he was on stuff. Like that realization.
Yeah, we can get into all of that conspiracy theories about guns, and somebody posted something. What if you found out your country was selling or giving guns to a foreign country? Well, that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
It happened down here with Mexico. They were sending guns down. And that just became a freaking mess. Let's talk politics now.
All right. I could do
I touched on it. I was touching on it the other day, and I know you did something on it today.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Vanessa Roy? Did Ophelia mess it up for Roy, or did Vanessa mess it up for Roy?
Can we say both?
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows the whole Vanessa and Roy relationship, like friendship, whatever it was, but that they were known like associates with each other. I think that's the simplest way. They were known to be together at times. Doesn't have to be sexual. Doesn't have to be anything more than just, it could have been friendship, like she says. That probably hurt the whole thing when he first started running, because a lot of people probably had that in the back of their mind, like, okay, Vanessa might have something here. But he went and did damage control and said, like, in a way, she's not working on my campaign for me. Like, she doesn't have the shirt. So it's not, she's not part of my team.
Yeah.
But then the back and forth with her and Ophelia, and like that kind of made it a big thing to where it became less of a campaign and more of a sideshow.
Yeah,
With all
Jerry
that
Springer show.
Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Do you think that, a lot of us believe that because of all that drama, that caused a lot of people just not even come out to vote, period. Whoever they were going to vote for. They decided, you know what? Is she going to be there? I'm not going to go. Forget this. Just forget it.
I don't know. In my live earlier today, I kind of said the opposite, to where sometimes I'm more motivated to go and vote if there's someone that I definitely don't want to have that position. Like that probably motivated some people also. Like, hey, if I don't let my voice be heard, if I don't put my vote in there's a chance one person could win. So let's head to the polls kind of situation. I think that's what it is. I wanted to look at I know it wasn't a big voter turnout, because I know when Vanessa ran, the numbers were a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Because I think she had like 500 and some votes, and then she lost to someone who had, I want to say, like 1,200 votes.
It was like 1,500.
1,500.
That's what she was saying. 1,400. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say you're right with that. Because after the recount, I think he got 2 more votes, and she got 5 more votes after her recount. But like those are big numbers for all the candidates. Here it was 500, 540. Like, I don't know. I wanted like to really look at like the numbers like over the different years and see if the voting's going down or if this was actually a spike compared to last time. But I didn't get a chance to look at that.
I think overall, generally speaking, people are not coming out to vote, and that's a serious problem.
Yeah,
it's a serious problem, and I don't know who's going to have the right solution to get people to get them more interested, more involved. Come and vote for something. Quit voting for quit letting the same people with the same systems just stay in there and keep ruling your city year after year after year.
I mean, a lot of people see it as a losing battle. That's the way I see it. I always see it as like, okay, it's the lesser of 2 evils for this campaign. So whatever happens, happens. Like, I'll just be here for the ride. Like, 'cause I'm not going to win either way.
And okay, but then that's the problem.
Yeah, I know.
That attitude times 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And everybody carries that same attitude. And it's like, oh well, that's why nobody's coming out to vote.
Yeah.
There's got to be a voting drive.
I am curious about I don't know if you saw that candidate that's gonna that Democrat from Texas, who he pretty much called out Ted Cruz in like his little campaign video, and I thought it was good.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, ex-NFL player turned congressman, and now he's running for governor. He's gonna run against Ted Cruz.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, and he said Ted Cruz is more concerned about like his identity, like doing anything to get on Fox News. He said that he was there at the White House during what was it, the January 6th event fiasco, that he was there ready to be there at the door to fight the next person that came in, and Ted Cruz was hiding in a broom closet. And this candidate, his mom's from Brownsville. So, there's a little bit of like local flavor somewhere in there. And then he also said during the freeze, and he put the photos of Ted Cruz when he was going to like Cancun or something. And he's like, when Texas needed him the most, he was heading out to vacation to save himself from the freeze. A real good video, like a really good video I saw. Can't remember his name. But yeah, grew up with a single parent, made it to the NFL, then went to law school, and now he wants to be the governor.
Dude, Vanessa was sick when she went to the early voting on the first day, and all the yelling. Do you see that? You saw her.
I saw a little bit of it.
if
But it,
if you're Roy, and you see that 5 minutes later, I'm on the phone. What the hell are you doing? Get away from here. Stay away from me. Don't even come over here. Go away and don't come back. You're messing this up.
yeah, but that's why I say this whole thing was less of a campaign and more of just a sideshow, because this whole election thing probably had the most eyes on Raymondville than it's had in years. And it wasn't because like, oh, this is a good candidate, or oh, like we'll see if we're gonna head into a runoff between these top two contenders. It was like, oh, I wonder what Ophelia's gonna say. I wonder what Vanessa's doing. I wonder, like, is someone gonna throw a punch at some point? Is someone gonna deface, political signs? Like,
Yeah.
that's what it was. And yeah, I got people interested in the election, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, that was sick. She was like, you can argue whether or not she has a real mental illness, but that day looked like somebody who was mentally ill and screaming like a mad person. Mad, I mean,
I think it was kind of because she had been on the other side of that for like such a long time, and she's gotten it like from multiple like of her campaigns. And I feel like she kind of got to like do something that she's probably been holding back for a while, and especially against Ophelia of all people. I think the same thing would have happened like if you ran, or if I ran, or someone who she doesn't like. I think it would be less about, oh, I'm gonna help my friend win, and more of, I'm gonna embarrass you. I'm gonna, go after you the way people came after me, kind of thing. I think it just kind of gave her not permission, but hey, she's running for a seat. I had this done to me. I could do this to her, kind of thing.
But they didn't do it to her the way Vanessa did it this time around.
No, not like that. But you also got to think about like what 10 years at this point built up, and she saw her opportunity, and I think she went for it.
She's lucky she didn't get arrested, and not for expressing her free speech or her rights, but for being a public nuisance.
It could be a public nuisance. I don't know. I don't know. Depending on the officer's discretion,
intimidation,
disturbing the peace, and stuff like that. And then I think we talked about it last time. Like, it's all officer discretion. Like, if he wanted to put charges like that, he probably could have at least filed them, or booked on that part, like booked for a while, and then just give another court case or have her see if she bails out or something like. But I think at this point, a lot of the Raymondville officers know these individuals, know how they are, and just let them run free. Like, I don't want to deal with the paperwork. It's going to be a revolving door. If anything, I'm going to add fuel to the fire, because if I arrest one, the other's going to go and think they won the Super Bowl, and then it's just going to get more ugly when the person gets out of jail, and stuff that we've seen before.
Yeah, I think so. The other question was, do you think she was serious to win this thing in the first place? Do you think she really wanted to be the mayor of Raymondville?
I think so.
You really do?
Yeah. I think at this point, it's just saving face by her saying that, like, oh, I really didn't want to win, or I wanted to take like votes away from Rory. She could have done that without dropping the $1,600 to run for the seat. She could have, the same way that Hyman, other people's put the signs on Vanessa's fence. She could have probably just taken a few $100s, made some anti-Roy signs, do some videos like that. But she was in it to win it. That was the catchphrase during her campaign. In it to win it just shows that she did want to win. And I get it. Like, losing probably, upset her, or definitely upset her. And then she's probably just trying to save face and try and spin it in a way where, like, it's okay. I didn't want to win either way.
But having said that, do you think just for her image of running for mayor, of course she's going to say, oh yeah, I want to win. Yes, of course I want to win. Of course I want to win. Deep down inside, it's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I win or not. But she's got to project that like she does want to win.
I don't know. For someone who's constantly needing her bills paid and constantly asking for supporter money to get by, I don't think she would have dropped money on signs, money on running for something that she wasn't serious about.
But she didn't put out that much money. I mean, she got donations to help pay for,
donations.
Campaign donations, right?
Yeah,
To
but
help
I
pay
feel
for
like those
whatever the
could have
signs
gone
were.
to like the multiple court fees that she has, her monthly. This bill came in and I need help paying it kind of thing. I felt it was more of a, I'm going to put all the money in this basket, try and win this election, and then I'll be having a paycheck coming in that could help me with these bills. Like, the greater good is to win the seat and have a $30,000 annual salary that will help me take care of my bills.
Yeah.
Because if it really was against the Maroquin family, there are so many other ways that would be cheaper to go through. There would be so many other ways to get her point across that wouldn't cost so much.
Wouldn't it cost so much?
I mean, money is a big thing when it comes to a lot of these, like, if you want to call them micro influencers, to where money is a huge drive. And I think wasting it on a joke or I was just going to run for the heck of it kind of thing isn't something that they would do.
Hang on a second. I gotta.
And if it was like, oh, I just did it to, get back at Roy, or I just did it, for fun, then that should just make those who donate question, like, what is she really doing with this money? Like, come on, for a gag? Like, nah.
I mean, I don't know about a gag, but I think
it seemed kind of like a gag when she was like, oh, I took those 40 votes away from Roy. Even if she wouldn't have ran and he did get all those 40 votes, like, he still would have lost. So it didn't seem like much was done.
I think there was enough. What's the right word? Not tampering. Enough interference.
Interference, yeah. I'll give it interference.
There was enough interference to take votes away or to keep voters from going out. I mean, if people want to change their vote, that's one thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you're causing to keep people from going out to vote in the first place, then you're defeating the purpose and you're causing another major problem. That's already a huge problem in the first place of people not coming out to vote.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally,
I
don't think she was ever in it to win it. I think she just wanted to disrupt the whole thing.
Okay, so you think it was just, I used the word gag. I didn't mean gag. I meant,
it was just to keep Roy from winning.
Yeah.
Because, like, people think
to hinder his chances, if you want to say that, like, to hinder his chances.
Yeah, it's like a vote for Roy is a vote for Vanessa. People have said that a bunch of times the last few weeks.
Yeah,
I believe that.
If that was the intention, I think they should have stuck with that and kind of made that like a platform, because that vote for Roy's vote for Vanessa came and went. If they really wanted to use it, I think it should have like stuck. Not part of like her campaign signs, but hey, a couple of shirts like this. Bumper stickers aren't like expensive. You could buy like 100 for like what, $30-$40 if you find the right distributor. Like,
well, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Well, because when I had my stickers done, I got 1,000 round ones, and it only cost me like about $40. So I figured like maybe like 100 bumper stickers, like you could probably get those done for the same amount. Like 100 of those versus 1,000 of my stickers.
Yeah, stickers is one thing, but t-shirts are a little more expensive.
Yeah, but the Peacocks have someone who like helps make the t-shirts. Like, it's not that hard to make t-shirts either. I have the machine right here, so like that really wouldn't go into a lot of cost either if you already have the materials. It's just a matter of like putting the time into it.
So when you said something earlier, we were talking about Vanessa, and that people did this to her, and now it's kind of her way of getting it back. It kind of sounds like people, you know how people are. Oh, Victor was defending Vanessa.
Yeah, they'll take one thing and run with it if it helps their argument in any way.
So you don't see it as you defending Vanessa?
No, I don't see it as me defending Vanessa. I just see it as I get it. Doesn't mean I agree with it, but hey, I get it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something about that because I said these things I said about Ophelia, like I just did right now,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they started coming at me. Oh, he sides with Ophelia, and
Yeah, and
he's
it's
on
gonna
her
happen.
side, and all this stupid crap again. It's like, oh my god, here we go.
Yeah, and that's such a huge issue with the way this is because people are just so. I don't want to make it sound like an insult, but like narrow-minded to her. It's all like, this is my argument. I'm gonna take anything that I could use to help my argument, and ignore everything else, even though it kind of just disproves anything that I want to say. Like only listening to what they want to hear.
Yeah,
Like it happens. I mean, there's people who watch me who know how I feel about these things. Like, hey, I could compliment Ophelia on some things that she's done. I could disagree with things that she's done. Same thing with Vanessa. There's some things that I could, agree with. Like I like her whole going after people because
yeah.
it's been done to her. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna, have a Vanessa, T-shirt on. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go campaign for her or anything. It's just like, hey, I'm human. I understand feelings and emotions. Everyone else should too. And like, I get it.
When you saw her, that's probably a stupid question.
Hmm.
She's still doing stuff. She's still on some kind of controlled substance of some kind.
I've seen a couple of videos. Like I won't go watch hers, but like if you're on and like I watch it, like okay, I'll see like what you're saying like about it. Like I'll watch that, but I don't go and watch from beginning to end like I used to.
Yeah, I started skipping through the videos more and more than just leaving the entire thing run because
A
a lot of it is
she
very,
can do some long live streams.
yeah.
Like they could be pretty long. I don't have the energy for it, so I'll give her credit on there. It doesn't mean I'm a fan of her, but like I give her credit. Like she could go a lot longer than I can on these things.
Yeah, well, we already know that she can just,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't know. People that watch her, you go girl, and all this stuff.
Look, if she really wanted to, and I'm huge on Twitch. Like I love talking about Twitch. If she live stream on Twitch, she would have like a much bigger following than she does now. Because there's people who will live stream like their activities and stuff. Like they'll wear body cameras and they'll go like shopping. They'll go out and run errands and stuff. And these people will have thousands and thousands of people just watching and supporting them. Like they'll be live streaming at a restaurant and the fans will be sending money like, oh, here, buy this drink, or hey, I love this, last time I went here, order it on me, kind of thing. I feel like those in real life streamers, I think she could fit in there. Like I think she would be able to have a much larger audience there if she wanted to. And before all these people come and like come after me and say like that I'm against Ophelia, hey, Ophelia could do it too. I'm not saying that she better stay away from it or anything. Like she already does kind of the in real life streaming when she goes driving around and stuff like that. Like there's a proper platform for it. Like YouTube isn't really big for streamers. It's just what everyone uses because it's a lot easier.
Yes, exactly. So yeah,
like really... I feel like when I make statements, I need to be nice to everyone, or else people are gonna get angry and their feathers are gonna get all riled up and stuff. So that's why I need to throw in like she could do it too. Like I'm not gatekeeping or anything with her.
I know. I noticed that you speak with a lot of fine print, like a lot of disclaimers. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, like I'm not insulting anyone. I'm not like attacking anyone, but I'm
like
just,
that. You're always saying that stuff. Like you'll say something and then you're like, and I'm not saying this, and I'm not mean this, I don't mean that.
It's kind of like when you give your friend advice and you're all like, but that's just me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, like I don't have any issues with anybody. I don't attack. I don't attack. I'll speak my opinion. But just like you, like when you do like your Vanessa videos, you're not like attacking her and like just making like a whole thing on her. You're speaking about her actions. You're talking about what she's doing. You're adding your commentary to it. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Some people can't understand that, but I mean, I've had some of Jaime's people come after me too because that I was too harsh on what I said about him, or when I, disagreed with him on something on his live, and they come after me in my messages. They're like, why are you going against Hyman now? Like, what, I thought y'all were cool. I was like, no, we're older. We have disagreements.
Can't hear you too good. You sound a little muffled.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, like you could have disagreements. Like when I've had people on Hyman's side be upset with me because I didn't agree with something he did, or I spoke out against something he did. I'm not picking sides.
Yeah.
Like, you do your Vanessa thing. I don't have any issue with that, but like I don't come and join you or anything. Like when we do lives, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna talk about? Like I want to have a show. I don't want to like just be watching and commentating and kind of stuff like that.
And a lot of times it's very boring. It's not for everybody to sit there and listen to her. A lot of times repeat the same old stuff, and then trying to comment something like a fresh take on it that's different from the night before can be difficult. And but I if I had to tell you, I would say quit protecting yourself so much by saying, you know what I mean? Like
quit protecting.
So quit adding fine print to everything you say.
Hey, I'm just doing it because you know how people get. I'm sure you've had people come after you to where they come out with an argument that you had no idea you were even covering that kind of topic. I'm trying to think. There's a time where I did a video and Frank called in, and me and him were just talking. We didn't talk about the drama. He was talking about like his cryptocurrency and stuff like that. And it was cool. Like it was cool to like have a talk about finances and stuff like that. Like it's interesting to talk about every once in a while. But then afterwards, I was all like, "Oh, so you're like a mini Frank now?" I'm like, I had him on as a guest. Like if like these reporters who have like they do documentaries like on these terrorists or these cartel members, that doesn't mean they're best friends and like part of the gang or anything. It's it's informative. It's it's content. It's just talking about people. Like that's the way I see it.
And the one thing I've had to say over and over again, and I think I'm going to quit saying it, because if either there's new people that keep popping up and have never heard me say before, or the people that I've said it to before don't comprehend. But just because I mention someone, just because I refer to someone, doesn't mean that I support them. Just because I acknowledge someone, it doesn't mean that I support them. But
yeah,
what I want to add after that now is like, but if I did, so what? That's my business. I'll support or back or like whoever I want to freaking like.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like people who we associate with. Like I'll comment on like Jaime's videos like once every like 4 or 5 videos, and they assume that I'm like there the whole time.
Yeah.
And if I don't know if you've ever gone like on the Peacocks thing or anything like that, and that's kind of where people see it like, oh well, Manny and Victor both say they're neutral, but Manny's on this side, Victor's on this side. Like, can they really be trusted? Like, big question marks everywhere. I think we're allowed to talk, interact however we want. If I didn't have to like subscribe to comment, I would probably comment here and there if there's something that I agreed with or really disagreed with. But it's too much work for too much drama just for me to speak my opinion.
So
yeah, I'm pretty sure you're getting messages. It looks like you're getting like some messages here because
yeah, they're annoyed at me or us for some reason, and I want to know what it is.
Exactly, because you're associated with me.
Because
you have me on the show.
Because we're not just coming out with it. Because we're not just coming out with what do I got? See,
and that turns into
at some level, not everybody's happy with whatever.
Exactly. And this really brings out the point that I brought up before. Are people really following me because they enjoy what I have to say? They enjoy me as a creator? Or is it just because I've said some things that they like about someone they don't like? Like, are they really here because they like me? Or are they here because of videos I've done on Vanessa? Or are they here because me and Ophelia had a back and forth? Or are they here because, I'm friends with, this person? Kind of thing. Like, what's the real reason? Like, if they're able just to turn away and be upset with like me as a creator they weren't really here for me then. They were just here because I supported their opinion. I supported, like, I fit in line with something they wanted.
And I know the one thing that kept getting thrown at me was, oh, he doesn't go after her because he's afraid of her. He's afraid of her. He's afraid of her. And, you know, there was a time where I did back away because they were starting to bring up all kind of stuff, and at some point even making stuff up, and then really digging for certain things, which was nobody's fucking business in the first place.
Yeah.
But then it got to a point where right now, so I don't care. You know, Ophelia, I don't know if you know this, a few nights ago, she actually spoke. She called in and she had to say what she had to say. It was about the Vanessa and the voting thing, you know, the election.
Yeah.
And I let her say what she had to say. She called me. I was very surprised, but she called and she wanted to say this, she wanted to say that, and I let her say it. But what I didn't say, and I maybe I did say it, I can't remember, because somebody, I mean, it came out right away. Oh, he supports Ophelia. He let her talk. He's a peacock. He's a peacock.
Yeah.
And it was like, if she would have said, because we're okay, Manny and I are okay, and I would have said, well, no, we're not actually, because, you know, I'm not going to forget that you called me a scammer and that you tried to cause problems for me when I was doing that raffle back then.
Yeah.
And being called a scammer, you know, not cool, because I'm not. So are we okay? As in, I let it go? Yeah. But I don't call myself a peacock. I'm not going to forget what happened. And are we buddy? Are we going to go out to dinner and hang out and this and that? No, I'm not going to do that. But, you know, I choose to, you know, what do they call it? It's water under the bridge, and just move on. But I don't forget shit. I'm not going to forget.
Yeah.
You know, they always say you never forget how people made you feel. That's one of those instances right there.
Yeah, and the whole all these nicknames. I don't like these nicknames that everyone uses, like peacocks, butterflies, devos. Like, at one point, Frank was all like, "Yeah, man, you're a butterfly." I was like, "Whoa, we're cool, but I'm not a butterfly. Like, I'm not
a butterfly."
I was like, "I'm not going there." I was all like, "I'm a fan of moths. Like, I'll be a moth, but I'm not going to be no butterfly." And then, like, I've never, you know, said I'm a devo or a diva. I've never called myself a peacock or anything. Like, I don't get that whole ownership kind of thing. Like, oh, well, this is one of my people. Like, I don't get that.
I don't know. Vanessa lately has been using this thing called gummy something. Gummy butterfly or gummy cocoon or something.
Where's that from?
You haven't heard her say that?
No. Who said that?
Is that Vanessa?
Oh.
She's saying that she's I can't remember. Is it a gummy cocoon or a gummy butterfly or a?
I haven't heard that one. I figured she would have gone straight to like chrysalis or something.
I remember.
Gummy caterpillar cocoon.
Oh, gummy caterpillar maybe.
I actually I've never heard that. Like, usually when anything dealing with butterflies, I go straight to like Frank in my mind.
And a lot of the stuff that she talks about, man, is way out there.
Man, I have some gummies here somewhere too. I on my desk, I always have like a candy dish or something, but I don't know where mine is. I don't know. The whole nicknames is like, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh, and by the way, Kay's in the house, right? Kay's in it somewhere.
Gallagher?
Yes, Kay Gallagher.
Yeah. She's the one who threw out gummy caterpillar cocoon.
Someone, and you know who. Okay, so we were in Chicago. I don't know. Did you catch any of my shows when I was with Bam in Chicago? The last few.
I think I saw one where Bam was just going like 100 miles an hour on on Vanessa, but I didn't catch all of it.
Oh man, Friday night, epic. It was epic. Bam was on fire, and
I heard, and people have told me like you need to go watch like what Bam said. I was like, I'll go watch. Like on my weekends I don't really watch the shows, but then like when I'm at work on like Wednesday and Thursday, that's when like I'll just go back and watch,
had
see what
a
people have been saying.
yeah had a. I did these remotely. I was in Chicago, and I had a live audience. I had the love of my life was with me, and she was there listening, and she was cracking up. And it was somebody laughing. It was her in the background the whole time.
Oh, I heard her
And it
laughing.
was so funny. And people were saying, "Oh my God, that laughing is cracking me up."
It's like you had a laugh track on your show.
Yes. And it was beautiful.
That's
and
that's when I was watching.
And she wanted to apologize. I'm like, don't apologize. Don't freaking apologize. That added to that helped make those programs what they were those nights. It was so great.
Yeah, make it a regular thing.
And I'm like, don't ever apologize. You don't have to apologize for that stuff. That was people like it, and they're going to want more of it.
Yeah. No, I actually need to get off. I need to go finish up the laundry that I had said I had done ahead of time, but I didn't. So it just got found out that I was slacking on my chores. So that was my wife who came in and said that I didn't put the laundry away. So I'm gonna head out and go do that right now because I know she needs to get up for work early in the morning.
Oh yeah, it's already 3:00. All right, go do what you got to do, brother.
Yeah, babe, let's do this again, man. I like coming on here and having our little back and forth like we do.
For sure, man.
All right. Well, see you all later, everyone. I'll check.
Good night, Vic. All right. Victor from his page, Digital Dimwit. So, anyway, yeah, I agree. The live laugh was the bomb. It was great, and it just added to Bam going on, and I think he fed off of that laugh as well, and it just made him keep going more. And here I am in the middle, kind of laughing at it all, and if you didn't watch Friday and Saturday, it was epic. And we didn't think Saturday was going to happen. We're like, let's not try to replicate it. And we know Friday was a one of a kind thing, and let's just do a regular show, whatever. Don't go crazy. But then it became 2 nights in a row, and it was like, good Lord, it was really good. They were really funny, and I will have my laugh track on all the time if possible. But yeah, that was great. So, all right. Anyway, yes, I will call it a night, and probably continue tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Politics wise, we do have one runoff here in Brownsville, which was for commissioner at large. We have a runoff. I don't think they've set a date for it yet. Susan Ruvalcaba, who was with me a couple times, and then against Tino Villarreal, he was on my program as well. So they're going at it. The votes were too close, and nobody broke the 50% mark. So there is a runoff there. Erasmo Castro did not win for mayor, and my commissioner Norith Golansky was unseated by Brian Martinez, and he was pushed and backed hard by current commissioner Roy de los Santos. Roy de los Santos, existing commissioner. Okay, so Brian Martinez is Roy's chief of staff. He works for Roy. And this kid who he hired was running for commissioner, one of the commissioner seats. So he's running as a candidate, but he's still Roy's chief of staff. Roy is pushing very hard for Brian, and I don't like the way that felt. It just, there's got, it's not right. An existing commissioner really supporting another candidate to be commissioner, but he's the same guy who works for him. It's hinky, So something. Yeah, you know what? If you weren't into the video and the laughing, I gotta say, too bad you didn't get it. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. I think it was perfect. It was perfect the way that happened. It had a natural flow to it. It was sincere laugh, and it just, all of it was right. We couldn't have scripted it any better. This was like the perfect scenario. And because it was natural, I think that's why it was perfect, because it was not scripted. I think if I would have got someone and said, okay, laugh here and there when he says something, laugh, or when I say something, laugh, that wouldn't have been right. I think the laugh was sincere, and it cracked everybody up. And of course, some of the things Bam was saying, of course, started everything. And so yeah, if you really want to, you can listen through all of it. And if you couldn't hear some of the stuff sometimes, I think we knew what was going to be said, or what was the intent to be said, or what he was saying. It was just, no need to explain it too much. It was just perfect. It was perfect. If you guys haven't seen Friday night and Saturday night, go and give it a replay. It's really good. I thought it was Bam's parrot laughing at first. No, I think I heard his parrot once or twice. Scream out loud or whatever. Those shows were crying. I was in tears. They were epic. They were really epic. They were truly epic. And for that reason, because they were not scripted. No, is everybody named Roy? No, not everybody. It's funny that that's the case. So there's a Roy in each of those. In each city, in public office, we have a Roy. You mean the mayor that owns a downtown building? Yep, that too. No, Roy is not the mayor. Trey is the mayor. Trey. Trey is the mayor. Roy is just a commissioner. He's a commissioner. So, anyway, so my live audience was amused, and we were both laughing at, and Bam was off the hook. He was in rare form. It was great. So, like I'm telling her, no need to apologize. And the opposite, they want to hear more of it. So, and it's not always going to work out that way. So it's got to be here and there. We'll make that happen again. He's all done now. Good job. Alrighty, we're going to call it a night. It is 3:10 a.m. I just got off of work not too long ago. Came right here and went live. And so to be continued. We'll see what goes on tomorrow. And we'll be in touch then. Everyone have a good night. Go to bed. Get to bed, people. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.